AITAH for not telling my fiancé that my late partner was a man? I, 29M, lost my fiancé 4 years ago in a car accident. He and I were both 25 at the time and had been together since we were 19. If soulmates are real, he was mine. He was stubborn. He preferred a way earlier bedtime than I did and was a major homebody, and I loved all of it. He would stay up with me until he was sure I fell asleep, and weekly movie theater outings planned by him became a thing like a month into us meeting. I am a fundamentally different person, both because I met him and because of my grief. I was shown what real love and effort and care feels like. I also don't talk about him. I go to therapy once a week. Otherwise, it's silence on that topic from me. He lives on in me in the ways I try to emulate him. I practice the patience he had that I always struggled to find. I go after career-related opportunities that scare me because I know he would encourage me to. Sometimes I let myself stay in bed because I know he'd be gentle with me and let me do that too. But I don't talk about him, and I probably never will. I'll make the occasional, "Oh, X would have loved this" comment when I'm with friends who knew him well. With strangers, nothing. My friends and family respect that as well. I'm engaged again. My fiancé, 31F, obviously knows I was engaged before. I pretty much told her, my last partner passed away and I don't talk about it. I don't use social media in really any capacity anymore, but she happened to stumble upon an old Instagram profile of mine recently and saw him heavily featured. This led to her accusing me of purposefully keeping this from her. I don't really see why his gender matters, and I told her so. She said I've broken her trust. Times like these are when I long for the life I was living before. But grief fucked up my brain, so I'm not sure if I'm being insensitive. Edit, she knew I am bisexual. The only thing she didn't know was that my fiancé was a man. Update. I figured I'd go ahead and post an update before I returned to my all-lurk, no-post comment Reddit life. Yesterday, I had an emergency therapy session because I was spiraling and didn't feel prepared to tackle the upcoming conversation with my fiancé without one. It was hard but necessary as I was finally honest about just how much I was compartmentalizing my grief. It laid the foundation for where I'd like to go moving forward. Now I have to put in the legwork. The few hours between my therapy appointment and my fiancé getting off work was evidence of just how avoidant I've become. It was a conversation we needed, but definitely not one I wanted. When we finally sat down to talk, I asked her to start us off by telling me exactly what was bothering her about the whole situation. She said because I had come out to her in a casual way, the way I come out to anyone, by mentioning it early on when it seems natural to bring up, she didn't realize how serious I was, and this made her look at me differently. She apologized for that and suggested that if I told her more about him now, it might be an easier pill for her to swallow. I tried, but there was this knot in my stomach the entire time I tried to pick a place to start. And maybe this is me being cruel, not giving her the benefit of the doubt, but it just didn't feel right. She hadn't come and said, "I was shocked because I realized how little I know about this time in your life. Would you be open to talking about it now?" Instead, it felt like, "Tell me what you saw in him so I can attempt to rationalize your orientation." I told her I needed some time, so she went to stay elsewhere for the weekend. A longtime good friend of mine came over this morning. I think the combination of anonymously talking more openly about my partner here, as well as being more open with my therapist, helped remind me of how joyous and cathartic it could be. I don't know the exact catalyst, but I do know I spilled my guts. We talked for hours about things I haven't told anyone in years. I expressed how nervous I was about possibly living alone again, and I was told that I didn't ever have to worry about that an SOS text message would be all it took for me to have company if I needed it. Same goes for all my friends and family. I'm so lucky I have an incredible support system. 5 minutes into that hours-long conversation, I already knew. The trust, security, and love I felt made room for this newfound openness. The absence of any one of those marks a relationship DOA, and is why I felt physically ill trying to share his memory with her. I truly wish her the best. I think going our separate ways will be good for both of us. We weren't getting what we needed from each other. She's supposed to be coming back tomorrow, so we'll have the talk then. I have lots of work to do, but for tonight, I get to be reminded of what safety feels like. I wanted to thank everyone for this sudden influx of nice comments and messages. I woke up to quite a few notifications and saw that I now have 80 followers here. I'm probably not going to stick around on this account, so I'm not sure if those follows are warranted, but I appreciate all the kind words all the same. I ended my relationship a week ago, and honestly, I've been enjoying single life. I was so terrified of living alone again, and I'm sure the loneliness will kick my ass at some point. But man, it's kind of really nice. I think my last relationship was an excuse for me to continue hiding from and suppressing my emotions myself. I feel freer now. I feel more open. It's hard and painful, but I also feel like I'm remembering parts of myself that I lost or spent 4 years shoving into a box. I went out Friday night. That's something I haven't done since before my life changed so drastically. I steered clear from alcohol for a long time because I was really terrified of the possibility of self-medicating with it. Now, I trust myself with moderation. I went out, had a few drinks, and danced with friends. I used to feel intense guilt for being happy. It wasn't rational, and I've outgrown that. Now, I just wish he was here. I miss running back from the dance floor to where he was talking to friends. I miss having someone waiting for me. I miss acting like it was such a hassle to leave early upon his request when really, I was looking forward to being home with my best friend. But yeah, single life is good so far. Thanks again for the compassion and understanding. Update, a quick TLDR. My, at the time, fiancé found out I was previously engaged to a man. She had a very negative reaction despite already knowing I was bisexual. I ultimately decided to end the engagement. I felt unsupported, distrustful of her, and I didn't want to be in a relationship with someone who discredited and disregarded my sexuality. It's been 7 months. It feels like a lifetime ago. I was still in such a fog back then. I'm not sure if this update is even allowed, since the issue has technically already been resolved. The question was, AITAH for not telling her about my late partner's gender, and now that relationship is over. The conflict doesn't exist anymore. She and I haven't spoken, and I don't ever want to again. That entire relationship was a huge mistake from start to finish. I just wanted to drop in and say, I'm seeing someone. We've been officially dating for about a month. He knew me from before my partner passed, and I feel like I'm slowly making progress in finding that person again. I spent a long time trying to emulate my late partner as a way of honoring him. I respect and love him so much, present tense, and I wanted to encapsulate the way he was. My boyfriend likes to remind me that he wouldn't want me to be him. He would want me to be me. That's been so helpful, along with lots of therapy. Edit! I received a ton of understanding and compassionate comments that helped me a lot after my story was posted on the Best of Redditor Updates subreddit. It made me feel comfortable and hope that posting here again would be welcomed and give people a conclusion to the journey. It also made me feel less crazy since I was receiving a litany of ignorant comments relating to my sexuality. Unfortunately, this sub's primary response remains the same. I can't do biphobia round 3 again. It was rough enough the first 2 times. I'm not a glutton for punishment.